This Good Morning Northwest morning spread is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is 6:53, time to get you ready to take on your Tuesday in the morning sprint.
Sydney Charles has the latest details on a looming government shutdown.
But let's get right to Mark Peterson talking about a dense fog advisory in effect right now.
To see that dense fog until 9 a.m. First Alert Weather. And the First Alert Weather app has all of these details. We're sitting at freezing into the valley, 27 into Post Falls, 36 into Coeur d'Alene, so the temperatures are all over the map. Forecasting that fog looks like it's really going to exit the area by 9 o'clock. Still going to be some areas of protected valleys where we can see a little bit till 10. Over the next 12 hours, we're going to see more sunshine this afternoon and our high today of 44 degrees.
Well, breaking news overnight, one person died and 6 others were injured in a head-on crash in Walla Walla County last night. Washington State Patrol says the driver of a minivan tried to pass a car on West 12 Oasis Road, which is 18 miles east of the Pasco city limits, when he hit another car head-on. A 22-year-old woman and a 2-year-old boy were in that car. Both were injured and transported to the hospital. Now, the driver of the minivan was killed and his 4 passengers were injured and hospitalized. WSP has not released the identity of the driver.
For the first time in weeks, speakers can now address council members directly during public comment. The move follows the protest and lack of order last week at the Spokane City Council meeting, which led council members to evacuate to council chambers. During last night's meeting, protesters continued to call for the city council to revise their resolution in support of Israel and support Palestine instead. The council did not comment on the calls to revise their support of Israel.
Spokane will now have a new mayor, with current mayor Nadine Woodward conceding following the latest round of election results. Those results showing Lisa Brown up by 2,800 votes out of more than 70,000 that were counted. And Betsy Wilkerson is still defeating Kim Please, meaning she's on track to work with Lisa Brown as the first ever woman elected to serve as Spokane City Council president.
Last night, hundreds of University of Idaho students gathered to remember their 4 classmates murdered 1 year ago. It was an emotional night on campus as student speakers shared memories. The vigil spoke to the resilience and support of the Vandal family. Hundreds of students huddled together on the lawn, candles in hand, paying respects to the classmates whose lives were cut short. Each of last night's speeches were followed by moments of silence. Each moment a reflection on one of the darkest years Moscow has ever seen.
The man accused of the students' murders, Brian Kohberger, is in the Latah County Jail right now and is awaiting trial. Police arrested him at his parents' home in Pennsylvania in December. A grand jury indicted him in May, and his trial was supposed to start last month, but Kohberger waived his right to a speedy trial, pushing back that timeline. You can catch up on our past coverage on this case and look for updated information on the University of Idaho murders on our website, KXLY.com.
Avista hopes to have the largest natural gas outage in its history resolved today. The outage is affecting tens of thousands of families from Colfax all the way down to Lewiston. We just checked with the company, which says it has restored service to more than 26,000 customers. The rest should have their natural gas restored by the end of today.
Meade voters are getting the chance to renew a school levy early next year. The school district's board of directors unanimously approved a resolution to renew an existing levy to raise money for extracurricular activities and pay the salaries of many non-teaching positions. The levy accounts for 13.6% of the annual operating budget and replaces the current educational programs and operations levy set to expire at the end of this year.
A driver is facing DUI charges in a head-on crash that blocked westbound I-90 near Ritzville for hours. Washington State Patrol says the crash happened just after 11 Sunday night. One driver was going the wrong way when they hit a car head-on. The driver of the car that was hit was actually charged with a DUI. Charges against the wrong-way driver are under investigation.
Congress has 3 days left to pass a funding bill to avoid a government shutdown. And today is the very first time the House is able to vote on Speaker Mike Johnson's 2-step funding plan. But a handful of Johnson's fellow Republicans are poised to block it. If it can't clear a procedural vote, Johnson might need support from Democrats. Representative Jim McGovern is the top Democrat on the Rules Committee. He says he thinks Johnson will bring the bill under suspension of the rules. That means it could skip the procedural vote, but it would still need a 2/3 majority to pass.
There is growing concern about the possible government shutdown creating chaos for millions of Americans planning to travel during the holiday season. Experts are already predicting record crowds. The latest on holiday travel is coming up next on Good Morning America. And we are back with a final check of weather on this foggy Tuesday coming up for you right after this quick break.